far has come as a surprise.
After the break.
And for the first time in a lot of years, they shake your hand and pat you on the back and say, good luck, kid. Go do something else.
That's next. With the bigger picture.
He was a bona fide Canadian celebrity and a perfect role model in a less than perfect sport. Shawn O'Sullivan was a boxing legend who one day just faded away, leaving behind his fans, his friends, and even some of his family. Tonight, Shawn tells us what happened in his own words. It was the punch that knocked Shawn O'Sullivan into retirement, a bout that would mark the start of a very difficult period in O'Sullivan's life. Having suffered a big loss to Donovan Boucher, a boxer from the same Cabbagetown Boxing Club and trained by the same man who stood in Shawn's corner at the Olympic Games, Peter Wiley.
I guess I caught him in the right spot. I won that fight, you know. It was a great night for me, you know. It could have been me in Shawn's shoes right now.
It was a tragic situation, I thought, and to me it was the end of his career in boxing. We talked to each other in the dressing room, and we resolved that he would go out to the press conference and announce his retirement, and that was it for boxing.
I remember getting up, and I thought, oh yeah, I got nothing to do today, and then the next day came, and you still didn't have nothing to do. And the next day came, and the 5th and 10th and 30th and 100th day came, and you didn't have nothing to do, because your life had been, for the last number of years, guided by a sport, dictated to you by a coach or someone to how to be and how not to be. And for the first time in a lot of years, they shake your hand and pat you on the back and say, good luck, kid. Go do something else. Okay, now what?
And the now what became the focus of Shawn's existence. His family made sure he was equipped with an education. He even attended classes at the University of Toronto. Yet Shawn says he felt lost. What did you do? Tell me some of your jobs.
I renovated homes, painted homes, called a policeman friend of mine. He got back to me and said, here's the name, here's the number, call him. Do you have work boots?
What was the job?
Being a janitor. It was so the steel-toe shoes were in the warehouse, and it was working, just cleaning up. Right. Again, it immediately gave me a medical and dental plan, and a pretty decent salary.
The pressure of becoming a mere mortal again, out of the media spotlight, became too great, and in the early 90s, Shawn O'Sullivan decided to come out of retirement, determined to prove he still had his fighting Irish fists. What was your first rematch after that, coming out of retirement?
That would be in the Catskills. I mean, it paid bills. You never made home run paychecks.
Then what happened? How'd you end up back home again?
Came home from the Catskills with a few medical necessities. I never told anyone that. You know that?
It is something he never told his family, friends, even his trainer. His secret? He had been boxing with little to no vision until one day when he woke up and he was blind.
My left eye was blind and my right eye was on the line. I had developed cataracts in both my eyes.
Was it because of the boxing?
Yeah, there was evidently trauma to the eye.
Shawn says he came back to Toronto and was operated on immediately, restoring some of his vision. But instead of hanging up the gloves, he says he foolishly went back into the ring for more poundings. Even after everything you went through, you went back in that ring. And did you go in that ring with any kind of hesitation?
No. I wasn't scared at all.
But a CAT scan of his brain would change all that in a mandatory procedure required yearly in order to have his boxing license renewed. In 1996, Shawn was given a frightening prognosis.
The CAT scan, it showed abnormalities.
Shawn says there was brain damage, and the neurologist refused to renew his boxing license, officially ending his boxing career.
Were you angry? Were you? No?
I was sort of saying, phew, like, phew. Thank God. Thank you, buddy. You finally said, you don't have to do this anymore.
Shawn eventually moved his wife and 5 children to Belleville, Ontario, a 3-hour drive north of Toronto. But it wasn't long after that his marriage would abruptly come to an end, served with divorce papers he knew nothing about.
He was a nice guy. He said, God, Shawn, sorry, I'm sorry to bring you this. And he handed me this envelope. I said, oh, thank you. What is it? He said, well, I said, I think it's divorce papers. I said, wow, okay. He said, are you okay with it? I said, well, I may as well be. I guess it's a case of somebody doesn't want me.
Today, Shawn lives alone with his dog Tony in this house. He admits he is estranged from his once close-knit brothers and sister. His father, Michael, suffers from Parkinson's disease, and his mother, Rita, is now deceased. And there is also the physical pain from years of being hit.
That's it. That's the right hand that did it.
Just getting through a day. Hoping to God you're able to walk that day, or your hands and shoulders aren't killing. And then there's memory things. I mean, there's a ton of balls that I juggle every day that I know most never ever have to bother with.
Like trying to remember something?
Unless you write it down, I've forgotten it. And I don't have a pen today. Yeah.
Is that frustrating for you?
It's annoying, but you just learn to manage it. That's all. You just manage it.
Are you working? How are you making money?
There's a league of sort of late 40s to 75 ballpark age, late 40s and above, called dragon boating.